because I have to watch the board. I can't.
All right, okay, I'll tell you when it is.
It's staying live for me.
Okay, yeah, we are live. I'm going to hit the record button.
Okay.
Okay, we are recording and we are live.
Okay. Good evening. The meeting of the board is now called to order at 7 o'clock. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I would like to ask everyone to please turn off your electronic devices during the meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry. At this time, I would like Mike, Franny, and Carla Thompson to stand so I can administer their oath of office. Mike and Carla, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Board of Education member from July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2023, according to the best of your ability?
I do.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Mike.
Second, Bill.
Okay, at this time, do we have any nominations for board president?
I would like to nominate Jen Michael for board president. Mike.
I will second that, Kathleen.
Mike, I apologize, but I didn't hear who you nominated.
Jen Michael.
Okay, Jen Michael. Any other nominations? Okay, now there will be a roll call from all board members. Mr. Binder, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Shavetta?
Aye.
Mr. Connors?
Aye.
Mr. Franny?
Aye.
Mrs. Michaelak?
Aye.
Mrs. Thompson?
Aye.
Okay. Do we have any nominations for board vice president?
I'll nominate Carla Thompson for vice president. I'll second, Jen.
Any other nominations? Okay, we got to do a roll call again. Mr. Binder, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Shavetta?
Aye.
Mr. Connors?
Aye.
Mr. Franny?
Aye.
Mrs. Michaelak?
Aye.
Mrs. Thompson?
Aye.
Okay. So Jen and Carla, if you could both stand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of board president and board vice president from July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, according to the best of your abilities?
I do.
I will.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the movie, or part of the meeting. At this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to our board president, Jen Michaelak.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, so at this time, may I have a motion to approve the items contained in the consent agenda?
Before we do that, I think we have to have a discussion first.
I think we make the motion, have the discussion.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
So I think Bill made the motion. Any second?
Kathleen, second.
Okay, so we do have discussion. Our board assignments. Probably the easiest way is for me to just kind of go down the list and we can fill them in. Excuse me. First one is the New York State School Boards Association delegate. This is the one that can attend the delegate meeting at the annual conference, should there be one, and vote. I currently am the delegate. Carla is the alternate. Does anybody else want to?
I kind of have an interest in this if either of you are looking to give it up.
I'm more than happy to pass it over to you, Kathleen. I typically don't like to miss the sessions. So I'm fine with that. Carla?
I have a different list here for something. Oh, I see what you're looking at. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not going to the conference this year, so I won't be available to even go to the.
Okay, so we'll put Kathleen in as the delegate. Do you want to make me the alternate? I don't know if I'm going yet either, but if Carla's definitely not going, do you want to put me as the alternate? Is that okay, Carla?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, got it.
Okay, next up, Erie County Association of School Boards. First one is Delegate Assembly. Is Chris Binder, and I am the alternate. Chris, do you want to stay on that?
Yeah, I would like to stay. I enjoyed it last time.
Okay. Does anybody else have any interest in being the alternate? If not, I will stay. Nope. Okay, so we'll leave me as the alternate. Our legislative team, we have Kathleen and we have Mike Franey as the alternate. Do you guys want to? I'm sure Kathleen, I think you both probably want.
I'm sure Mike does as well.
Yes.
Okay. Kathleen, Mike. Budget and finance team, we have Bill and we have Carla as the alternate. Bill, you can want to continue on that?
Yeah, if anybody, I've done it for a long time. If anybody has any interest, I would certainly pass it up, but I can certainly keep doing it.
Anyone? All right, we'll leave Bill and Carla.
Yeah, I'm okay with it unless somebody wants it. I mean, it's just the alternate position. If anybody wants to do it to kind of get their feet wet with it, that'd be okay too.
Yeah, those are tough for me because those are typically Fredonia days,
Thursdays, yeah,
trying to get all the way there.
yeah. But it's okay.
Our Board of Education committees. First is our administrative leadership committee. We have Kathleen, myself, and Chris Binder.
Last year I had asked if I could be considered as an alternate because I would like to stay with, to kind of be with that committee. I was on it before. So I know on one of the lists I was listed as an alternate, so I don't know if we do that for this time or not.
Do you want to, you can take mine. We'll put Kathleen if she wants to stay on that, Carla and Chris.
Okay, are you sure?
That's fine.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Athletics, we have Bill, Mike, and myself.
I'll stay on it.
I'd like to stay.
Okay. I do as well, unless anyone else wants to. No. Okay, we'll leave that the same. Our audit committee, we have Chris Binder, Carla Thompson, and Cindy Lattimore.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'd like to stay on. I like hanging out with Dan.
Okay.
Suck
We will
up.
we'll leave that the
Ha.
same. Building Conditions Survey Committee, we have Bill, Mike, and Carla.
I'd like to stay on it with the project.
Yeah, me too.
I'd like to stay on it.
Yeah, I think it's good because we're mid-project, probably to keep the same people on that committee is probably the best.
The one thing I would say on that are there separate committee meetings for that are typically scheduled?
Building Conditions Survey, usually, I don't think we've had one in a while, right, Dan? Because or John, either one you can.
It'll be this year.
This
We
year.
were scheduled, but because of COVID, it'll be put off to next year
Okay.
or this year.
Yeah.
It's this year. It'll be a reduced kind of building condition survey. Number one, because of the project. Number two, it's COVID time.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right, so we'll leave that the same. our board recognition program committee really is just all of us, so we'll leave that as. Budget committee, we currently have Bill, Mike, and Carla.
I'd like to stay.
I'd like to stay with it too.
I would like to stay. However, I've said it in the past, Kathleen deferred for me to go on it. If she wanted back on, I would welcome it.
No, that's okay, Mike. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I think
You're welcome.
you found a fun home there for yourself.
Okay, so we're leaving that the same. Code of Conduct representatives, we have Kathleen and Chris.
No.
I mean, unless anyone wants to pry it out of my hands. Otherwise, I'm fine.
Nope. Okay, same.
Mine too.
Okay. Finance Academy representatives, we have Kathleen and Mike Franey.
I would like to stay.
Okay. Policy committee, we have Kathleen, Mike, and Carla.
I'll stay on it. I'm okay with that.
Everybody's,
Unless somebody's just dying.
Again, unless somebody really wants to.
Somebody's really chomping at the bit here.
If there are any of these that you want to jump on, Chris, just let me know either that you hear. I'm more than happy to stay on it. I have had Melissa shake her head at me 3 years in a row, not in that committee, but
okay, we'll leave it the same. Just as a reminder, we have these assignments to these board committees. Those are the board members that are participating in those meetings. Any board members can certainly attend any committee meetings. You're just not participating, so we don't have a quorum. But anybody's willing to go and observe if you'd like to, just keep that in mind. Professional development, shared decision-making representatives. We have Kathleen, myself, and Mike.
I think this is one I'm going to have to come off of. It does meet a handful of times a year, and I struggled. I mean, I certainly can stay in the spot if no one else wants to fill it, but it's really tough for me to make these meetings.
They're tough for me as well. A lot of times they're at 3:30 when I'm not available. I mean, when I am, I could make them. Is there anybody else though that would like to try this one out?
I can certainly stay on it, but I don't know why, but I ran into the same issue of, I think I was able to make one meeting of the year on this committee.
Okay. So we'll leave Mike. Is there anybody else that might be interested in trying this one out?
What time does it meet again, usually?
Usually
3 or
it's like-
3:30.
yeah, it's usually a 3 or 3:30. The days vary. They somehow mostly seem to fall like on a Tuesday, Thursday when I'm in Fredonia and can't get there. Occasionally they might be a Monday or Wednesday. Never, I don't think they're ever on a Friday.
If somebody wants to put me down, I can definitely
Okay.
take it. To,
It also,
coach or whatever.
I know we have one board member who couldn't make it. Is this one that Cindy may be interested in?
Schedule.
You do know the rule.
Oh, I mean, you have to ask her, but her schedule.
Yeah, that might be a difficult, same thing with her work, the way she works might be difficult. Christine, why don't we leave me down as a third and maybe we can list Cindy as an alternate?
Okay.
Nobody can make it, maybe she can.
You can come virtually now too, that we know how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, safety committee representatives, we have Bill, myself, and Cindy. I would like to stay on that one, unless anybody else wants it. I've been on it for a number of years.
If anybody wants to take it, I would certainly give it up. I mean, it's not my favorite by a mile, but I can stay on it if nobody wants it.
Anyone? All right, we're leaving that the same. School counselors, advisory council representatives, we have Carla, Kathleen, and Chris.
Yes, I would like to stay
I'd like
on.
to stay with that too.
Yeah, I definitely want that one, please.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave that the same. Technology committee representatives are Bill, Carla, and Chris. You guys don't want me on that one, so.
Yeah, I definitely want to
usually
stick
kind
with
of
that one too.
following
Yeah, I
along.
like this. Yeah.
Bill and Chris are really good at it.
Okay, so we're gonna leave that the same as well?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That was easy. Okay, so
During the meeting.
let's see, given that, is there, other than that, is there any other discussion on the agenda? No? Okay, so all in favor?
Sure, Jen, I apologize. I just want to make sure that Mike is abstaining to part of this.
No.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
next, that's the
Yes,
The contract is being approved in the next one, but I think the actual doctor is being approved.
yes, I will abstain on this also.
Okay, so he's just going to abstain, it's
abstain.
appointment of Dr. McLean.
Yep, got it.
Okay. So noted. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then Mike's abstention as noted. Okay, so that's it for our reorg meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn the reorganizational meeting?
So moved, Carla.
Second, Bill.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting adjourned. We will now move forward to the regular Board of Education meeting. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move, Mike.
Kathleen, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will move into our recognition of our scheduled visitors, and we have John Robinson with us tonight of Campus Construction to do an update on our capital construction project. Hi, John.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, John.
Very nice background.
I like your shirt too, John.
Just how I planned it.
So do you want me to share the screen, John?
I think I've got it. Let me see if I can do it here. Okay. Everyone able to see that?
Yes.
Perfect.
I made you a co-host, John. That's why you're able to do it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So again, we've been making some very good progress in phase 2 of the capital project. At the high school, the building addition, we are about 95% complete with our structural steel, with a few more, couple more weeks of minor detailing that'll still take place with the building structure. We've also started the exterior masonry walls for the addition, and the building structure itself is now well defined. The new technology classroom and a connection link were also started and are continuing the progress. As you can see behind me, the gym floor stained and refinishing was completed. And currently fresh coats of paint are being applied to the walls. Starting next week, we will, the new track will be going in, the indoor track. And the beginning of August, we'll see the bleachers and the curtains going in. The outdoor track, the milling and some base removal was completed, and then the asphalt paving was also completed. So that's the new entrance to the addition. And as you can see, again, structural steel is up, metal deck is up. And so right through that entrance there would go directly into the gymnasium. Locker rooms on the right-hand side, and the offices and some of the other auxiliary spaces on the left, down on the ground floor. Again, masonry walls have started to go up, and we will start to complete some of the interior masonry as the weeks progress here within the month of July. Again, back towards the locker rooms. And then the ground floor connection, both first and second floor connections, with a slight ramp up to the second floor off of the existing building. We've also completed the slabs on the ground floor. And the two doorways that you see back on the left-hand side are the two door entrances to the existing gym. So at the beginning of the month of June, the color stain was started after it was sanded late in May, early part of June, and then the color stain was applied. And that's the main court and the auxiliary court with one coat of polyurethane that had gone down. And for the board members who have not seen it yet, please get by within the next couple of weeks if you have the opportunity. This is truly one of the best looking gymnasiums in Western New York between Buffalo and Rochester. My goal, both Nick Humphreys and we're trying to get this gymnasium on our, to replace, I believe it's the Victor Pool that we completed maybe about 5 years ago. I think that this gymnasium will stand up to any in Western New York. The color selections, and once the track and the bleachers are in, it'll really be a showpiece for the district. After,
John?
yes.
I'm just looking at this picture right here, and we've looked at those other two doors from the addition. Where are those doors located here?
They'd be to the left of the bleachers there. Let me see if I've got another picture here that may show those two doors.
On the far end of the bleachers of that side?
Yep, back just past the end of the bleachers there. There are two doors.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then that's the stencil that was used that Archie Donahue used to create the logo. A three-step process. Same with the waves. A stencil created as well. There are the waves, Carla. And they look fantastic. It's really a tremendous looking gymnasium floor. So then we resurfaced the high school track outdoor, and that was as you know, the track was in very rough shape. There were some areas that we needed to replace sub-base. And as you can see, there are two layers of asphalt that were placed here. The bottom layer was the area where we had to remove sub-base, and they put binder down, or put new base in along with binder, and then it was then top coated all the way around with 2 inches of asphalt. All of the field events, the long jump and triple jump, will take place here. The runway for the pole vault was also resurfaced, along with the D zone here was also completed. And in about 2 to 3 weeks, Nagel Athletics will come back out and resurface, place rubber down on the track. At the middle school, the site work, concrete curbs and sidewalks continued throughout the site. We expect to be putting blacktop down by the end of the month of July. The toilet addition, exterior waterproofing was completed on the addition along with the interior masonry, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough-in. And then the administrative suite and lobby renovation, ceramic tile floors and walls were completed. Toilet partitions were installed in the lobby and the toilet rooms. Brick installed in the new main office for the safe, and then vinyl flooring was started in the admin suite. So again, new sidewalks completed at the front and the new parent drop-off area. Again, similar view out towards Route 5. Handicap access parking, and at the parent drop-off, I believe there are a total of 6 or 7 spaces there at the front of the building, and parking, handicap parking there in the front of the building. Again, 90% of the, probably about 95% of the sidewalks were replaced at the middle school. The only section that remained was a section that was actually in very good shape. There'll be a new access ramp to the teachers' parking lot at the front of the building. There is a significant grade change from the roadway down to the new lot. So there is a new ramp that's being installed there. We also started the demolition, or continued with the demolition in the middle school auditorium. Just remember that the auditorium will be turning back over to the district for use in January of 21. So we'll continue through the summer and the fall working on the auditorium, new seating, carpeting, some additional handicap seating will be placed, a sound booth in the back, new lighting and sound equipment, and rigging for the stage will be completed. And that's both at the ground floor and the balcony level. Toilet fixtures haven't been installed in the lobby restrooms, both the men's, women's, and family toilets, similar to the high school, 3 toilet spaces. Fixtures have been installed. And toilet partitions as well. Now there's there'll be a completely new look for the middle school lobby. As you can see, the new tile that has gone up on the walls. There's the district's color scheme and the gray tile border. And in the admin suite, we created a new safe right in the main office. And this is the brickwork that was taking place for that safe. In the middle school nurse's office, we did tone down the vinyl in the nurse's office just slightly. But I think it's a great pattern, and it'll be a great new space for the nurse there at the middle school. The tech shop received a new dust collecting system, piping, ductwork, and that work is nearly completed. With the dust collector, it should be going in the early part of August. The toilet addition, again, waterproofing and roof went on during the month of June, along with the mechanical and electrical rough-in for each of the toilet spaces. Phase 3 of, which is the high school and JTWA, Young and Wright engineers completed their 100% SED and construction documents for phase 3, and they are to be submitted to SED, I believe, this week. Again, the bid opening for phase 3 is scheduled for December 2020. We'll award contracts in January of 2021 and start construction February of 2021, and that work will continue through August of 2022. And Young and Wright and campus are working with the district to create a building and site construction phases, and most of that work was completed and was included with the documents that Young and Wright would be sending over to SED. Phase 4, again, that's the elementary buildings, A.J. Smith, Highland, and Hogue. And Young and Wright completed their field verifications and started their drawing setups for phase 4. Again, that work is scheduled to begin bidding in September of 2021, award of contracts in October of 21, start of work in November of 21, and end of construction 1 year later in November of 2022, with 2 months of closeout, and all 4 phases complete by December of 2022. The capital outlay project, the 2020 capital outlay project, which was JTWA masonry work. The work was completed by Morris Masonry. The contract was closed and final paperwork was submitted by the district to SED, I believe a couple of weeks ago. Any questions in regards to the capital project?
No, nobody has any questions?
I have one, John. The new restrooms at the middle school,
Yes.
when are those expected to be completed and functional?
The toilet addition or the interior lobby restrooms?
The toilet addition, the exterior.
That I expect to be completed 100% probably mid-August at the latest.
Why are there 4 doors?
You have a total of 3 bathrooms. The door on the end closest to the parking lot is the mechanical room.
Okay, sorry. Okay, thanks.
So assuming there is a fall sports season, it would be open for that then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions?
No, but poor Daryl's gonna be so sad if this is ready in the fall and there's just no sports.
We'll keep our fingers crossed that there are. All right, no other questions. Thank you, John. Everything
Thanks,
is
John.
great.
Thank
Really
you.
great.
Anytime you guys can make it out, we'd love to see you and have you and show you around either site.
Great. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
All right, moving on then. May I have a motion to approve the items contained in the consent agenda?
So moved, Bill.
Second, Carla.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Under new business, may I have a motion to approve the agreement between the Evans Branch Central School District, Lakeshore Central Schools, and Dr. Craig K. McLean, DO, for the 2020-21 school year.
So
So
moved.
moved, Chris.
I'll second.
Second, Bill.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
I abstain. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Right. May I have a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with the North Collins Central School District to share services of the Lakeshore Central School District Supervisor of Transportation for the 2020-21 school year?
So moved, Mike.
Second, Bill.
Chris.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with the Eden Central School District to share services of the Lakeshore Central School District's Director of Facilities for the 2020-21 school year?
Kathleen, so moved.
Second, Carla.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to authorize and direct the superintendent to execute the agreement with the Silver Creek Central School District regarding shared JV and varsity boys and girls lacrosse for the 2020-21 lacrosse season?
So moved, Bill.
Second, Kathleen.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the 2021 insurance renewal with Utica National Insurance?
So moved, Carla.
Second, Bill.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve a budget transfer for the 2019-20 fiscal year that exceeds $100,000?
So moved, Kathleen.
Second, Carla.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to award the emergency bid for a 2020 Summer Food Service Program operation to Personal Touch Food Service Incorporated per the attached bid documents?
So moved, Mike.
Second, Kathleen.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the creation of a new public relations assistant position at a rate of pay pursuant to the Lakeshore Central Administrators and Supervisors Association contract?
So
So
moved.
moved. I'll second, Kathleen.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the provisional appointment of Jane Brzezinski as a public relations assistant for the district at 0.6 FTE with a prorated salary of $35,000 for the 2020-21 school year?
So moved, Mike.
Second, Bill.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the appointment of Paula Eastman as the administrative liaison for Native American programs district-wide pre-K and K through 12 for the 2021 school year at an annual stipend of $6,000?
So moved, Bill.
Second, Carla.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve a stipend in the amount of $5,000 for the 2020-21 school year for the Supervisor of Transportation, Perry Odie, for duties of shared Supervisor of Transportation between the Lakeshore Central School District and the North Collins Central School District?
So moved, Mike.
Second, Bill.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve a stipend in the amount of $5,000 for the 2020-21 school year for the Director of Facilities, John Wilson, for duties of shared Director of Facilities between the Lakeshore Central School District and the Eden Central School District. This stipend will be prorated based on the number of months Mr. Wilson serves the Eden Central School District.
So moved, Carla.
Second, Mike.
Chris.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Ronald Tonelli Jr. from his English position effective June 30th, 2020?
So moved, Carla.
Second, Bill.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I want to say just really quickly that I think Ron Tonelli is an exceptional educator. I think he has impacted the lives of many, many, many students in his time at Lakeshore. And I think just as he said in his resignation letter that he was struggling to find the words to thank the district, I really struggle to find the words to thank Ron Tonelli. I'm really excited that he gets this opportunity. But man, what a loss for our district. But I guess the Lakeshore's loss is Fredonia's gain. So I wish him well.
I would agree with that, and I will
Right.
definitely miss him.
He's always been, you know, the epitome of a perfect professional, really. He's been excellent.
Outstanding.
And a great teacher. Absolutely.
He will be missed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We could just say no.
I was really tempted.
You can't leave.
All right. May I have a motion to approve the recall from layoff status of Michael Reed to a full-time 1.0 FTE social studies position, master's step 3 of the LSCTA contract effective August 31st, 2020.
So moved, Kathleen. This is one I can get behind.
Second.
Second, Mike.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the appointment of Lori Wonder as a mentor program facilitator for the 2020-21 school year effective July 1st, 2020.
So moved, Kathleen.
Second, Bill.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the temporary instructional appointments for the 2020 summer school program to be compensated at the current board LSCTA contractual rates?
So moved, Bill.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to accept with regret the resignation for the purpose of retirement of Pamela Orser from her bus attendant and school monitor positions effective June 30th, 2020.
So moved, Carla, with regret.
Second, Kathleen.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the recall from layoff status of Amanda Maj to clerk typist 12-month position at step 3, $19.31 an hour of the Teamsters Local 264 contract effective July 1st, 2020.
So move, Mike.
Second, Carla.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the placement of Andrea Jekyll on layoff status from her clerk typist 10-month position effective June 30th, 2020.
Kathleen, so moved.
Second, Carla.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to approve the 6-month probationary appointment of Ryan Ayers as a maintenance mechanic for the district at step 6, $27.33 an hour of the Teamsters Local 264 contract effective July 1st, 2020.
So moved, Kathleen.
Second,
Second,
Bill.
Mike.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Ryan Ayers from his custodian position effective June 30th, 2020.
So moved, Carla.
Second, Bill.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? May I have a motion to approve the temporary non-instructional appointments for the 2020 summer school program to be compensated at the current board Teamsters contractual rates?
So moved, Carla.
Second, Kathleen.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, under discussion, we have our agenda items for the August 11th Board Education Retreat. We have our district goals. We have our program presentation schedule that we will work on. Our morning building visit board visitation schedule. Dinner, hopefully, if we are not meeting remotely and we can actually do it in person. I do know that we wanted to add on to that anything in regards to our reopening plan. Does anybody have anything else at this time that they would like to add?
Can we add our mission statement to the district goals? It's been a few years since we've gone over that. I'd like to give it a once over.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? All right. If anybody thinks of anything that, you know, we should be addressing, just, you know, shoot Christine an email.
Are we going to consider doing this in person, or where are we standing on that? Do we want to try to spread out in the media center, or we want to do it Zoom, or wait and see, because that's a lifetime away?
Go ahead, Charlie.
I was going to say the latest executive order gave school districts the ability to continue doing remote meetings until August 5th. So since our meeting is after that, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, we could socially distance relatively easy in the library or media center, right? So at the high school, we would just need to decide and figure out if it's going to be open to the public, what would be how many people would be able to come in and social distance that way. You know, so a lot can change in a month, or could go up, you know, in terms of the increase of people being in there. But we would just have to determine as a board, whether or not all of you would want to meet, you know, in person, because people have, you know, different things going on at home, you know. So if that was the case, then we would set something up so whoever couldn't make it. I'd rather have it all or nothing, kind of, because I would feel a little bit uncomfortable not having somebody in person if we were all meeting in person. Just my opinion, but.
I mean, I guess since these are topics that typically require a lot of discussion back and forth, I think it probably would be easier to do in person than on Zoom.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, even if the executive order is continued that we can continue to do Zoom meetings, is there anything that's preventing us from meeting in public at this moment in time? I think towns are already starting to do their meetings in public. So even though we may be allowed to do it, we're not prevented from meeting in person, correct?
I think just if we, no, I'm sorry. There's nothing preventing us that I know of, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Marnie said thumbs up, so we're good.
Right.
And I think just because if we decide in August we want to meet in person, I don't think that means we can't go back to Zoom
Sure.
in September. I think Jen just makes a good point that the retreat is typically something where there's a lot of discussion. And I think Zoom is fine, but I think it's better in person.
I don't know if it's even possible to have the table section and all of us around it on the stage. And then if you're going to bring people in, you have the auditorium to do that. But that might be too much in cleaning. I don't know.
What about spreading out the media center like was said? But in my view, the one change that might have to happen is normally we've had the retreat over in the district office or in the conference room. That may not work. We may have to adjourn the meeting and stay in the media center.
I agree.
Separated like that.
Kind of similar to how we had that last meeting before quarantine, where everyone had their own table, basically,
Yeah.
sort of spread out.
And, you know, in 15 years, I don't know that we've ever had anyone from the public attend our retreat.
Oh, I know.
I think we're going to have to worry about handling a crowd.
Does anyone feel strongly that they don't want to meet in person for the retreat?
No.
Well, I'm nervous about it. I mean, Doug's doctor said it's really we really have to be careful.
Sure. Yeah, no, I understand.
But, you know, if I'm way over in the corner somewhere, I'll just, you know, hang out over there with my mask and all that.
Well, and we also don't have to decide right now. You know, we can see how things change
Yeah.
in the coming weeks.
Yeah, no, I think we have some time that we can kind of see what happens over the next few weeks.
We'll have
Agreed.
more input then, but up until then, we've been asked to, I mean, it's our choice, of course, but that was a strong recommendation from the doctor, so.
I get it, Carla.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about that more, I guess, in the upcoming weeks, but if there's anything else that anybody wants to add to that agenda, if we could let Christine know so that we she can start working on that. Anything else under that? Board of Education Committee reports. Nobody's met, right?
The audit committee met. That's not Board of Education, right? Is that
Yes, it is.
yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a board committee.
So the audit committee met at 7 o'clock one morning, and it was I thought it was a great meeting. Dan went over a lot of information with what the audit company is going to want. And then they kind of looked at how they've been affected because of the pandemic. So we're going to try to really start working on our audit on August 10th with hopefully a presentation in September. That's the goal. And they think they really can do a lot of it online, you know, and back and forth with documents, that sort of thing, to keep minimum amount of people in the building. There may be a couple of times, but for the most part, they're going to really try to work around all of the pandemic issues. Dan, you want to add anything to that?
Sure. The one thing we didn't get this year was our internal audit report, because we had met, they had done the risk assessment update, and we selected testing payroll against the GPS system on the buses to make sure that the bus routes were matching the payroll documents and all of that. And before they got a chance to start, we closed in March. So they could have come in and tested prior records, but I really wanted to see live records, because if we found a problem, then we could correct it. So we're holding that, and we're going to do that test next year. But the regular annual audit will be fine. It was just the internal audit that got kicked aside because of the COVID.
Okay, great. That was it, right? Anyone else meet? No?
No.
Okay. ECASB, anything going on?
No, some conversation behind the scenes from the legislative team, just about all of this, but nothing really concrete action that we're taking right now.
Okay. Board member roundtable. Kathleen?
Why, yes, Jen. No, just very briefly, the 8 board members who were on the SED task force had a follow-up meeting just to kind of debrief and compare notes. We eagerly await, is the one thing we all agreed on, for guidance, which is supposed to be forthcoming, I hear, possibly as early as next week. Who knows, though? We'll see. But everyone agreed that it was a good use of our time. And Charlie, the technical difficulties that we experienced in session 1 were not repeated in any of the others.
Oh, great. Right.
They got those ironed out.
That's good.
Great, thank you.
One thing I would like to bring up is with the reopening plans, we know that there's going to be a safety committee in order to plan for that, but we don't have another meeting till August 11th. Whether it be a work session or something, are we going to get regular updates on how that process is going?
So yeah, I'm going to talk a little. Go ahead, Melissa.
I don't know if I'm 100% correct, but I read today that we're getting guidance early next week around safety. So that's what I'm assuming that we will design around, but our plan is also due next week, July 15th, we heard, but we've received no other information about how to submit or what it should look like. Wise, I know that we will model what state ed tells us to do. So while we're brainstorming and talk about what we do now, we're looking forward to getting that guidance.
So I just want to be clear. The plan is due next week, but the guidance is also supposed to come out next week.
Right.
We got both.
I understand.
Yeah, like today, right, Charlie? Like afternoon, we got both and all that information. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, the article I saw today, the governor said, you know, we don't know if kids are going back to school in September. It's up to the 700 plus school districts to come up with a plan to reopen. Thank you, Governor.
Yeah,
I
thank
do
you for all the
really-
guidance.
I like all this local decision-making authority we're getting right now. I sure hope that this becomes a trend, is all I'll say.
Careful
Well,
what you ask.
he'll be the first one to tell us we're doing it wrong, though.
I thought that he had said, make plans as if we're going to open, but the if was capitalized and bolded. So I think they'll give us the ultimate direction, but we're to plan for all the scenarios that we can think of, I guess.
So you basically have 3 plans ready to lock and load right now. And then when the guidance comes out to tell you which way it'll be, then you have about 5 minutes to refine your plan and
Yeah,
submit it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're in my world, or I think our administrative world, we're creating one giant plan that will have everything in it, but probably what we need, but we're going to give it a whirl.
Thank you.
But
Anybody have anything else for board member roundtable? I guess we could touch on graduation. For those of you that weren't able to make graduation, I think it was a great day. It was a beautiful sunny day. I think that the kids were happy. I think the parents were happy. It went, I think, much quicker. It went very smoothly. I think it moved along much quicker each session that we had anticipated. It was, I think, right around an hour for each one. So given the heat, you know, that was really good. But it was really a beautiful day. And there was so much planning and so much anxiety that revolved around the planning of that event. And I think it went off without a hitch. And I hope our families were happy with it.
It was really nice. There was a lot of positive feedback in the community too. It was great.
yeah. And I watched on live stream, and the sound was a little up because of the wind, but
Yeah.
it was still there. I mean, you didn't miss anything, you know, and it really went like clockwork. It was a great setup, very well organized, and still held the tradition. That's what I liked. You still had tradition in there, you know, even though it was different, it still had the tradition in there. So, and that was special.
Yeah.
I have received a lot of positive feedback in the community from parents also about that, about how that went and how happy they were that the way things were able to evolve.
Good.
Great. Anyone have anything else? All right. Up on our calendar items, all we have coming up right now is our August 11th board retreat. We have our regular meeting that is scheduled to begin at 4 and our retreat at 5. So where and how to be determined. And with that, I will turn it over to the superintendent for his report.
Thank you. I was actually going to talk about graduation also. I thought it went very well. Kudos to the high school team and John's crew for helping getting everything set up. It went really well. I think that people pretty much complied with our social distancing requirements, and people were pretty good about staying in the cars. I didn't like the fact that they didn't get my joke during my speech, but other than that, I mean, it was pretty good.
I laughed, Charlie.
They actually had an FM system, which I think really helped. So Carla, for for the wind, you're right, it was windy, but having that FM system, like at a drive-in, so when you're sitting in the car,
Mhm.
people were able to hear pretty
Hear it,
well
yeah.
from what I'm being told. So I really like the fact that we were able to have something that looked more traditional. You know, having the different plans and all the anxiety. So this is the kind of a time when you say, well, what's the plan? What's the plan? And if we would have stuck to the plan that we were going to have and not vary on that, then we wouldn't have done this. You know, so the flexibility shown, you know, getting the stage from Erie County, everything, having everything set up, working with BOCES to be able to use their front lawn to have the stage. I just thought it went really well, and it was really, really a good day. So we have a senior exit survey that we do every year. We just got the results the other day, so I'm going to compile those for you and let you know and send you a report about how our high school seniors reported out at the end of the year. A lot of the questions did talk about, you know, how they felt with COVID and not coming to school. And of course, you know, those answers are probably what you would assume they would be. But overall, I think that they were pretty positive. So I'll have that for you guys, you know, in a couple weeks. Maybe we could talk about it in August also. We can add that to the list. We have a summer meal pickup this summer, as you guys have approved earlier. Personal Touch has been able to work with us to provide summer meals. We will have pickups on Mondays and Thursdays from 9:30 to 11 at WA and at the ECLC. Our anticipated last day of pickup is August 27th, with the possibility of having food that would last until like the 1st or 2nd of September. We'll just kind of play the end by ear to see how it's going. The fruit and vegetables that we had before from Desiderios, we're going to take a look to see exactly how it's going and how many boxes we can store, because the boxes are pretty big and the storage at WA is not as big as it is at the middle school. So even if we have a limited number, we'll do what we can and see if that program is still going. We also have a parent survey that we have that's going to be rolling out soon, and I'll send that to you guys also so you can see it. As you know, there's another survey that went out from other districts in Erie 1 asking different questions about, do you want your child to come back to school? What would it look like? And that type of thing. But our survey is going to focus a little bit more about the emotional and how they felt physically. How was the work? Was it too much? Was it not enough? What could we do to continue to help you if we were to continue to have to go virtual? More kinds of information that would help us determine our path in terms of being able to offer what we need to families. So that'll be going out to the community within the next day or two. To give you an update on our technology return. So we had 434 Chromebooks that were lent out. We have 367 returned as of now, so about 85%, which is pretty good. Jeff's crew is working really hard to get everything back. Chargers seem to be falling down black holes, so we're going to try and see where the chargers are. We've had some families moving around, and so we're keeping a good eye on that and calling parents and even going out to pick up things in their new homes, even if it's outside of Angola, so we can get our things back. iPads, we had 93, we had 76 returned, about 81%. And hotspots, we had 85 lent out, we had 68 returned, about 80%. So it's important to know that the hotspots are basically, Jeff calls it bricked. You can't really use those hotspots for anything else. So nobody can use them for a phone or anything like that. So they're really they're a paperweight for people right now. So it really doesn't do any good, to keep them. But we're going to continue to keep trying to get those back from people. Summer school, our summer school for special ed students started today. It was the first day. It's going to be running from the 6th to the 1st of August on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Tuesdays through Fridays from 8:30 to 11:30. Today we had 2 high school students and 1 elementary student show. So it's really neat when you walk into the front of the high school. They have, you know how we have the squares on the terrazzo floor? They've got them taped off with blue painter's tape, every other one. So you have the natural 6 feet distancing. So when the kids are walking down the hall, they can keep proper space. We're looking in the different kinds of masks. As you know, we ordered a whole bunch of cloth masks for kids and for adults, but we're also looking into the masks that have the clear opening in the middle so that you can still see somebody's facial expressions, and especially for speech, or if you're trying to teach reading with children and phonics, it's really important to be able to see their face. So we're looking into what the cost might be for that and how many we might have to have, you know, moving forward. John's group is doing a great job continually ordering PPE and disinfecting materials that we need to be able to keep the buildings clean, so that we have an abundant supply of those supplies that we're going to need come September. I think John said that they just found some water from World War II down in the basement, right, John? Today, so back when Mr. Houston was the superintendent. So, you know, 10 years from now, we're going to remember all that stuff we had from pandemic. But so we're keeping on top of that to always make sure we have enough. So reopening of school. So we do have 3 plans in place, basically a daily in-person, a blended instruction where there could be some students coming in alternate types of days, but on some type of a set schedule, and still some virtual, and then totally fully online. So you might have heard today that there are other states that are talking about going full in person in September. You know, so I would imagine they're going to be following, you know, guidelines in terms of safety and making sure that they're going to be able to do that. You know, everybody has their own sense of what they want to do for their community. So as Melissa said they need our plan by the 15th, but it's really hard to have a plan if we can only have 11 kids on a bus, right? So we're trying to see what kind of information is going to be coming in terms of, I don't want to say loosening that, but extending that. So if kids are wearing masks, can you have more kids on a bus? Can you have, you know, will more parents want to drive their kids to school? You know, can we have, you know, 20 to 25 students in a classroom? You know, are our classrooms big enough to be able to do that? So, and it could be kind of difficult for a child to have a mask on all day long, right? So, you know, so there's a lot of things that we're looking at that'll be part of the plans, but they're just not solid yet. And I think you got to be careful about saying this is what we might do, and then if you don't do that, then people might say, well, you said you were going to do that, because, you know, so there's things that we're thinking about, and there are things that we would like to do, but we might not be able to do, depending upon what the executive orders are and what we get in terms of guidance from the Department of Health and the CDC. So that's where we are in terms of that and what's been going on so far this past month.
I have a question, Charlie, related to the masks.
Related to the masks? Yeah.
Yes. Is there a thought of, so with the masks that are being ordered and the other ones that are being looked into, would these masks be going home with the students?
Well, the Eagle masks, they will go back and forth with kids at home. Now, we will have, we're thinking about having a box of disposable masks in all of the classrooms in case a child doesn't have a mask. So if they forget, I'm not sure even right now if the guidance says that that children are required to wear a mask. So there's also some question about that, whether or not we have to require them to wear one. You know, so those are going to be masks that they can come back and forth. Those blue masks really are more disposable kinds of masks. You know, so a lot of people might have them at home themselves. So we really won't know until we get going as to what the need might be. And in terms of summer school, what they're doing now is that they're doing a screening. There's a form that we're having parents fill out that asks questions in terms of, you know, have you been exposed to anybody from COVID? Are you feeling sick today? You know, 4 or 5 different questions that we're asking to determine whether or not it's safe, you know, for them to be in school.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, like 50, but I guess we'll just wait for the guidance to come out. Go from there.
Well, you know, if there was a
There's a
White
lot.
House, I don't know if anybody saw the White House session today that had our Secretary of Human Resources and Health, and they were talking about reopening schools. And, you know, it was just, they were saying things that we all feel, you know, that we know that it's better for kids to be with us than it is for them to be home, you know, and that, you know, parents need to have kids in school, not just so they can go to work, but for them to be able to get that kind of support that they need from school. You know, so it's very difficult knowing that there are some kids that really need that. And right now, last year, we weren't able to provide that. So, I mean, we all desperately want to be able to have the kids in school, but we definitely want to be able to do it safely.
Well, especially because you'll have so many situations where, frankly, students will not, if we're not in personnel, you have students who would have never met their teachers in person,
Right.
and vice versa. You'd have incoming kindergartners who have never met their teacher.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely.
All right, any other questions?
No, thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
All right, so at this time, we will now recognize unscheduled visitors who would like to address the board. Similar to our regular meetings, the board may not respond to comments or questions at this time, as it is not intended to be a question and answer period. This portion of the agenda is a courtesy to the community, so they have the opportunity to bring matters to the board's attention. Due to tonight's meeting being held remotely, we requested that members of the community submit any comments or questions in advance to an email address that we set up to receive public comment. We did not receive any emails for tonight's public comment. So therefore, may I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment history of particular individuals? No action will be taken during executive session.
So moved.
Kathleen, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? For anyone in the public that may be watching the
Yeah,
meeting,
hold on.
please note that the
Yeah,
live
hold on.
stream will be paused while the board is in executive session. Once we return, we'll be back live.
Okay, I'm going to exit out of live. I'll let you know when we're not live.